What's going on, you guys? Slim here at YCS Vig with my brother Asian Persuasion and the one and only Mr. Squiddy. And we are here with one of my favorite people, Mr. Andy TSANG, back on the channel after quite some time because I know you don't play Yu-Gi-Oh that much.
Yeah.
In fact, case in point, he literally just told me before this deck profile he started playing again last week and made it to what, top 8?
Yeah.
Insane. And
my,
what did you play? I know it's I know you guys all played different decks, right?
So yeah, I teamed with Herman and Luca over there.
Boys, our boys over here. What up? What up?
Yeah. So I played DESPIA branded. So one thing I'll say is because of the new format and a lot of people were playing the previous format YCS the week before, I couldn't find a lot of deck profiles or stuff to learn from, so I had to kind of build it from scratch basically. And I kind of got baited because people told me that the new cards suck, and then once I started learning about them, these new cards are really good. So then I had to start playing them. So yeah. In the main deck, it's 3 Aluber, which is one of the best cards because Search is the best card in the deck. Triple Tragedy, which is a little unusual. A lot of people play 2 or 1, and they play 3 McCourier, even in Allure builds. I think this is a lot better because it combos with more cards besides Allure. And then even in the graveyard, it happens so much where I will send it to the grave and not even search because it's more relevant to set a card and kill them like that. And then because I play 3, I also play Ad-Lib, just to have a value search target since I play so many. This card's really good for playing around Book of Eclipse because they Book of Eclipse your Mirror Jade, you can just send it. I've sent this off, even the new Dust Dragon card, just to get access to it, so it happens a lot. Something new with the deck is triple Albaz. Most people only play 2 before, and even some people play 3, but now it's you have to play 3 because there's the new Striking Dragon card, which is if you have an Albaz in your grave, it turns Mirror Jade into triple interrupt, which is just crazy. So it's super important to end with this card in your grave now. And then this card is so good that I play 3 more of it. So now this is it's Upstart Goblin, and then if it's in the graveyard, it's Albaz. So. Courier, and then some people play 2, but I think 1 is good because it's really only needed for the deck to function, but the second one's really extra. I don't think you need it. And this card with deployment, it just lets you play through Ash really easily. Before if you got Ash, you kind of had to either play around it by searching non-branded fusion, or you would just have to have tech cards. But now it's you can get Ash and still have a good board. And then the last 2 monsters are Sorinier and Lubellion. So Sorinier I wanted to add because it had a graveyard effect which was relevant because I'm playing Retribution. So it would give me another way to get Retribution into the grave if I were to use Albion that turn. And because I was doing that, I thought Lubellion would be good because I needed a second light because I'm not playing any other monsters. Because Fortita is almost never in the deck, I need a second light monster, but honestly, this could be any light monster. It could be Nibiru, it could be anything. I had Nibirus in my deck until maybe Thursday. It's just you want a light monster that you can draw. That's about it. Yeah. So I was a little worried that I might be a little underprepared for the mirror because most of the Despia decks play so many Bestials, but when I was actually testing mirrors, I felt that the Bestials were good, but not crazy because you could. They're about the same value as other cards that are also good in the mirror. So I kind of supplemented, and Bestials were just not good versus Cash or other decks. So I kind of played a small count, and I supplemented the weakness in the mirror with other cards that would be good in the mirror. On to spells, triple, best card in the deck. These 3 at 1. This card is actually crazy. I can't believe I never played this before. It's Miracle Fusion basically, and then you can. It's not. You can even summon non-Albaz fusions. You can make whatever you want. As long as you use Albaz, it's Miracle Fusion. You can make Chimera with it. It literally has no restrictions. 3 opening. It's just it's a starter, and the graveyard protection is so relevant. So this is new. And it's just great. Itali's Cartesia going first, and then Itali's Albaz going second. So when you go first, you summon Cartesia, and then you no longer lose to Imperfect. And whatever they do, you can chain diffuse. And then if they don't do anything, then you just make Grand Gunal and you send Albion, so you have the interrupt with the Mirror Jade, and then there's no coming back. So many times you just set up that board, and even if they eclipse it, you have so many cards in your back row. You have Red, Banishment, and the Lindworm and the Grave Striking Dragon, and they just won't be able to play through it. So That's one of the strengths of this deck is just being like super good into Eclipse, like on both sides, because you can use Eclipse to stop them or use it on your own turn to protect your plays from imperm, and it doesn't matter because you're a fusion deck, so you can still make your plays. I play 3 Allure. Allure is not everybody plays it, but I think it helps with not just consistency but like power, because you're getting the plus off of it anytime you banish strategy or Courier, and then you're also just digging into like main deck cards, side deck cards, like all your 1-ups. Gold Star with Courier is the main target. It's just like super, like it searches like almost anything in the deck. I don't play Foolish because it can't banish Courier. And then Triple Book of Eclipse. This card is, like I said, it's really good in the format against Cash, but also it's just really good like when you're playing, because it's really easy to like stop them, and then Book of Eclipse, and even when your monsters are face down, you can still fuse with them. So you can use it like on either player's turn. It's a super flexible card. Outside of the finals where I had to let them draw 4 cards, which they're not finals, top 8, where I had to let them draw 4 cards, which sucked, but whatever. So as I alluded to, I played some cards that were specifically good in the mirror, and Banishment is one of them. I believe between Lost, Banishment, and Kriskanian, if your opponent does not play as many of those as you do, they're very behind in the mirror. And I only played 2 mirrors, but neither of them played this, and it showed. But Retribution, which is just a SANG. And then the last 2 cards, these were originally nibs, but I swapped them for evenly matches. When I was testing, I felt like evenly match was just a really good card I was siding it originally. I thought it was really strong, but the problem is that it lost to a lot of other side deck cards. So I decided it'd probably just be good in the main. I only decided to play 2 because I really didn't want to double draw it. And going second with 6 cards and Allures, I'd probably see it enough game 1. I had a game versus Scareclaw where he ended with like Baron Negate, Wandering Griffin Rider, and the token. And then I bait 1 Negate with Book of Eclipse and another one with Branded Fusion. And then I just evenly matched him, and he has to keep the token, so he lost his whole board. And then Extra. Yeah. So Extra is 2 Mirror Jade, pretty standard. 2 Lebellion, 3 Albion, 2 of this guy, and then I would say that like this card, and the second one, like so second, third, and second are considered Kashtira attacks, but they also just come up randomly, which is good. 1 Titaniclad, which is important for fusing with Kashtira monsters, because this is a huge part of your end board because you're sending it to the grave to summon back Albaz to fuse. This card is just for the Cartesia. So you need to play a target for this. A lot of people play Queritus because the way you make Queritus is still important for your combos. I choose to play this instead because I can explain it, but I actually side Masquerade, so it's actually not. So I actually have like some like leeway with that. And then Guardian Chimera, Boral Furious. So most people play 2 because I'm only playing 1 red and not Patchwork. I don't have a lot of ways to make it. And Furious just comes up a lot against matchups like Labyrinth, so I wanted to include both of them. I would get this banished and I couldn't even make it anyway, so it wasn't a huge deal. And this card is the 15th. Drago Stavelli is really good under Shifter because you're able to turn that cash monster, you negate it, turn it to level 1. And it's probably the best. If you get Shifted, it's like the best card you can make because you can't use the Mirror Jade effect. So yeah, that's my side deck, my extra deck. For side, Triple Ash, basically for the mirror, but it also comes up against Lab. I don't side it in against anything else really. Cross Out is pretty much exclusively for the mirror. I thought this card might be a little too narrow at first, and my teammate actually convinced me to play it. But when I was playing my matches versus the mirror, they actually also sided it, and then I realized that if I didn't side this card, I probably would have just lost this mirror. So it's a good thing I sided it. 1 Dark Hole. I wanted additional outs to Ibli post side. Originally this was 2 Dark Holes, but I realized that because they use the Shangri-La effect, you can just do 2 Dark Holes and 2 Thrusts. And then, so Thrust can get the Dark Hole for you, and then if you're going first, you're also now able to use the Thrust to get Dimensional Barrier, which is just like crazy against everything. It hits every deck. It's pretty much the only going first card I have in the mirror, in this entire side deck. And the last 3 cards, so I have 2 Cosmic Cyclones. This is a very generic side card. If I'm expecting anti-spell or if I'm just playing against a deck that's like very interactive, I'd like to side this card just to like snipe skill drains and stuff like that. I didn't think I needed 3 because I play Allure, so I have so much draw power. Yeah, and the last card I sided was Masquerade. So originally, I wanted a card for time, and I didn't want to play this one because it's really hard to use in time because you kind of have to have like 7 minutes or something and then like make it and then you have to let them play. And it's very easy for them to turn into a draw. But I was convinced on it because, like I said earlier, a lot of the lines, you need a fusion that can be made like Queritus, or they have the same summoning conditions. And so a lot of people use that slot for Queritus when like Proskenion is just the better card in like a lot of situations. But because I side this, any game after game 1 I can just side this in and side out a card, and then I'll have access to both, or like if I side this out then I'll have access to this, and it will no longer be an issue. So because of that, it gave me by siding this card I had the freedom to main this card. This card's insane. In my top 16 I used it to banish an Albion, or he had Albion, I had Albion, so I used my branded. I knew he had Magnum in hand, so I used Banishment to bait the Magnum effect, so that he would summon it, and I could trigger during Gunal. Gunal will summon this to banish his Albion.
Gee,
Yeah.
that's insane.
Wow. So yeah, that's it for the deck. Yeah. Shout out to my teammates again. They carried.
You got carried to something?
Okay, so we finished X1. My personal record is X2. So I like to say that I didn't get carried, but no X2s made it, so I guess I did get carried. So, yeah.
I still think it's pretty good. You coming back after a while, and like you said, you just started playing again last week. So quick study, and
back to retirement now.
And I think you made a good meta call as well. We've been trying to figure out what we think the best meta calls were if it wasn't Cash, and I think Branded and Labyrinth were some of the best meta calls.
Yeah, it was actually really helpful. So like the way our team structure is, like our A was he's also playing Despia, but like it's a totally different. It's like blind second, and our B player is Herman playing Labyrinth, and because he's playing like a trap deck that like kind of doesn't have to like not saying it's like helmet, but he doesn't have to like spend as much time thinking about his plays. I can just like interrupt him at any point in the match and be like, stop paying attention to your game and look at my board.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
He can help you.
Yeah.
It's also like to confuse you and when it comes like.
Oh, and then because me and Luca's Despia builds were so like he would nib them game 1, like they play nib, and I'm just like, yeah, we do.
Watch out.
Yeah.
It's
So
a good strategy.
and it wasn't even intentional, but it ended up working out really well. So yeah.
Hilarious.
Awesome. Well, congratulations on another top man. Great to see you back, and thank you for the deck, bro.
Thank you.